Cross-examine, episode 54. That's Justus. I'm Matt.
That
We're
man.
fat.
No, stop with the fat. Today we're going to be talking about a couple shows. Matt gets to talk by himself for a minute because the first show we're talking about is like the first 3 episodes.
Yo, Restaurants in the World, so fucking good. You won't believe how good it is, Justus. You know how good it is?
Weren't you complaining that it's bad?
No, I said it was fucking fantastic.
Oh, I could have swore you were talking about how it shit last night.
No.
Oh.
No, I wasn't talking about how shit it was. What do you mean? I would never say Restaurants in Another World is shit. So anyways, the shitty part about Restaurant to Another World, I forgot that the show doesn't look as good as I remember it looking. There's lots of scenes where it's like commercial animation. You know what I mean? Like, you know how like sometimes in commercials, like they don't go super refined lines for some of the animation. Listen, the show's fucking fantastic nonetheless. It's a very heavy story-driven show. First note I wrote, it's back, crying face on there. We have 3 characters again. We got to remember. We have Aleta, or Leda. I don't remember how to pronounce her name. I don't care because you only see her off and on. That's our blonde chick, and she is a demon, and she worships a demon god. But in this world, demon gods are good. Everyone has their own religion, and we're all cool with it, except for some lizard people. You know who you are. And then we have a black hair girl, which I completely forgot that black hair girl is actually a dragon. She just turns into a girl when she works at the restaurant. And her name is Kuro-san. Be happy, Justice. I got a name right. I practiced that too. I have no fucking shame. And it's really weird because season 1 was so wholesome and adorable and just like, we're cooking. Relax from the other shows. We're just here to have fun. Nothing too in-depth. So anyways, Goblin Slayer's picked up again inside this show. Literally this new character you meet. She's like, I gotta do this quest. I need money. Kill goblins. Can't be too bad. And then it's literally like 15 minutes of just her massacring goblins. Like blood everywhere. Like to put that in perspective, season 1 had like none of that shit. There was like small fights, but that's when they get teleported to this other cafe. And this girl's just fucking massacring goblins, like blood everywhere, shooting them in the back of the head. And I'm like, yo, what the fuck happened to this show when we were gone? Like,
Look, at least she's not what happens to the first group of girls in Goblin Slayer.
Yeah, I mean, watch Goblin Slayer. It's pretty good.
Yeah, very wholesome.
No. So, have you seen Restaurants in Another World?
No.
So basically how this works is every episode there's a story of a new character coming into this new restaurant. So this guy has a restaurant in our world, right? But in this alternate world, this magical door appears once a month on a Sunday, but they call it like Salernus or something like, well, shit, that's the city from Gate. Like Celeste or whatever. It's like the 7th day. It's a Sunday. And people can go through this door. They come into the shop and then they can have a meal. And this guy, the owner of the shop now, his teacher used to serve these people from another world. And the prices are pretty affordable. They're like, oh yeah, if you want like this parfait, it's like 2 or 3 copper pieces. Or if you want, like in one episode, hamburger and cola, then it's like, 5 copper pieces. Into like, these are people coming from maybe like, compared to us, like, maybe like the 14th century would be a good example. So imagine having modern food in the 14th century. They even make a point of like, oh, I can cook you a steak. And they're like, what's that? And they're like, oh, it's like cooked cow meat. He explains it simply to them. They're like, oh, this can't be good because cooked cow meat then was just leathery, like hard to chew, like peasant food. Then he brings out like a fucking steak and they're like, oh my God, this is fucking amazing. Like, I didn't know cow meat could taste that way because he's probably serving like higher quality, like A3 or A2.
Other way.
Well, A5's the best.
Yeah.
I was thinking of lower.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's definitely not A5. But there's one point there's like, yeah, if you want this meal, steak, wine, whatever, blah, 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 it's like 2 gold pieces. And they're like, oh, it should be worth like 20 gold. I'm like, you just gave this guy a gold coin. That's fucking like a solid gold coin. You just gave that man like $20,000. Like, and you don't even fucking know it.
Mm.
But no, it's a really adorable show. Like, this girl goes into the world and she's like, oh, and she's real defensive. But usually most people that come into the shop, they have this experience of trying this new food. And it's cool. It's like he brings out these dishes and stuff, and you're like, oh, I kind of want to try and make that. Most of it's like pretty basic dishes, but to them it's the most exquisite thing. Like I said, burger, fries, and a cola. There's an episode, it's episode 3 of season 2. These 3 kids go through the portal to the new world because they've been there before, and they're like, we want a burger, fry, and a cola, which is what a kid would order. And because they've never had soda. Soda wasn't a thing.
Mm-hmm.
So then they're like, oh, this is amazing. Let's have seconds on there. It's just cool to see people's interactions of enjoying this food they would never get to enjoy. But one thing I do really love about the show, because this is more slice of life, so there's nothing too in-depth I'm going to talk about each week, is no one knows each other's names at the shop. They just know each other by the name of the food they order. So like, yo, pork cutlet. Yo, fried noodles. How are you doing? Like, soda pop?
Weird.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, those aren't dishes in their world.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, that's just how they know each other. Because they only see each other once a week, and all of them are there to eat all the food they can. Like, the dwarfs are there every week, and they're just downing, like, fucking downing beer.
Look, if you're there once a week, you're still meeting up with people 52 times.
Yeah. But
a
some
year.
people show up, like, earlier. Some people show up later.
Yeah,
it's a
but
whole...
at least name some of them.
Yeah, well, I don't know how long this is going. So it seems like each episode is a new week in the world. So there's some people that have only been there for like 3 or 4 weeks, and some people have been there for 12.
Mm-hmm.
But it's cool because each episode, you could just go watch an episode, and you can just watch it whenever. What's it? Anthology? Is that technically not? Where like each episode could be its own thing.
Yeah.
Anthology would be new characters, but it's like it's something like that. You can just pop on any episode and you'll be caught up.
I know
There's
what
some,
you're talking about.
yeah, there's some characters that carry over from week to week, but even seeing like there was this one interaction between the princess and her maid, and she's like, "Oh, what should I get to go?" Because a lot of people are now ordering food to go, and you get to see them interact with that food in their home world. So go get a cream puff, and it's like a huge fucking cream puff. She takes it to her maid, and they're like, "This really doesn't look like a dessert. It's just bread." And the princess doesn't even know what it is either. So they take a bite. And of course, if you have a big cream puff, the first bite is probably just like the breading on the outside. And she's like, oh, this isn't good. Takes another bite. She's like, oh, what's this? Takes another bite. She's like, ooh, it's all gooey and stuff. I'm like, okay, settle down. I don't like where this is going. But I like it. I'd recommend it. I think it's a solid like 7 out of 10 show. Maybe 6 out of 10 if you're real picky about animation, but.
Okay.
Oh, no, wait. I do have beef real quick. I got fucking beef with the show. I got to say one thing. I got time. There's vampires in episode 2, right?
Okay. Maybe this is where I heard you bitching.
I was bitching a fuck ton. At first, I was like, why do they got bags in their eyes? Like, her name's Romeo and his name's like Juliet, but it's like Romeo and Julietto. It's like, okay, whatever. Fuck off. Then they go in. They're like, we want like the most expensive thing on the meal and no onion. And the motherfucking chef serves it with onion under the fucking steak. And he's like, no onion? And the chef's like, yes, no onion. It's like, fucking onion right there. Then he takes a bite in the steak. He's like, oh, I can taste the onion. It's so good. I'm like, you just fucking said no onion. You're a fucking vampire. You said no onion. Then he takes a bite of steak with onion on it. Like, you can see the onion under the bite. Eats it. He's like, the onion makes it better. I'm like, you just fucking said no onion. You just made a whole fucking point about you can't have onion. And then you fucking eat onion. It's like, what the fuck?
Is the subtitles messing up where they say
No!
with onion?
No. Because you can hear him say, no onion. Like, it's a different language, but like, no onion. I even went down below into the comments. They're like, nah, these are right. He asked for no onion. He gave him onion. And a whole bunch of people were pitching like, yeah, what the fuck? What a shitty chef. He asked for no onion. He put a shitload of onion on it. Fucking trash. Also, apparently, as a chef, he doesn't know how to mix curries. I don't know a single chef that doesn't know how to do different types of curries.
Do you know how to mix a curry?
Well, he's like, I've never tried curry with fried rice. I'm like, what? Like, I can fucking go to Panda Express and get that shit. Not curry, but you know.
All right.
I had to fucking vent about that. I completely forgot about that. That shit pissed me off so much.
All right. We're
Fucking trash cell. 1 out of 10 stars. Love you, restaurant to another world.
All right. We're going to move on to Jahy will not be defeated.
Dude, they literally just fucking redid episode 8 as the first half of episode 9.
It was a quarter. It was like 8 minutes.
It's like a third, Justice.
Whatever.
Agree to disagree. I guess it was in the middle of what both we said. Listen, man, they got to do a little bit better. I love that they even pointed out, like, that shampoo wasn't the fucking communal shampoo. It was fucking her expensive shampoo. It's like, oh, they put this good shampoo. And it's like, oh, man, she really did use a lot of that fucking shampoo.
Dude, she does have a lot of hair, though.
Yeah. Also, shopkeeper's boobs saved someone from dying. I want that to be known.
Well, I mean, it just would have fell. And
I love how, like, they do this quick fall and then it's a slow bounce.
Yeah, and then Saul was just happy the rest of the day. Tits are so amazing, so soft. Bad day turns into good day.
Yeah. I gotta say, I love Jaya because she comes from the other world, right?
Mm-hmm.
And she's supposed to be somewhat smart, and yet she falls victim to, like, mall scams. Not even mall, just like, you know when you're walking through like a store and sometimes they're advertising, try this new blah, 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 and you'll try it, but you know you're not going to fucking buy it. That shit doesn't work. And Jaya's like, I don't want these sponges. I'll throw in 3 free ones. Immediately fucking grabs them. It's like, okay, here we go. It's like, Jaya, like, you just said you weren't going to spend any more money. Yeah. She's like me. I say I'm not going to spend more money, then spends more fucking money.
I don't need more Pokemon cards. You mean the chance I could get a Mewtwo? Fuck, give me 2 packs, I guess.
I did get a Mewtwo, by the way.
Yeah.
I got 2 Mewtwoos. I'm so happy. I got 2 Charizards. I made up for the whole thing.
All right.
It's anime. It counts.
Yeah, the loser Pokemon card.
But further into the episode, like like, what was it? Episode 9 was so weird because like the first third is one thing, then there's like 3 different things that happen in the last little bit.
Yeah, I mean,
further explaining why Jaya is fucking dumb. She puts all these goo traps in front of the door, on the window, and I'm sitting there like, she's gonna need to go outside to go to work. Like, did she even think this through? And of course, 2 minutes later, it's like, oh, I fucked myself. I gotta fall victim to this trap. Just clean it up.
Yeah, I think it'd be less of an issue if there were just the floor goo traps, but the fact that she put overhead traps too, for the windows, where it's like, can't do anything. It's like, I mean, you could just disable one of them, I guess.
Also, is Magic Girl really into like BDSM shit? Because she keeps getting hurt and she's excited for it.
I think a little bit.
There's like scenes where she gets hurt and she's happy, and scenes she gets hurt and she's not happy. And I'm like, are they trying to tell us something?
I think she might have like a little bit of it.
That Magical Girl's got a fucking kink. I'm fucking telling you what.
She definitely, has a lot of bad luck because she keeps collecting the gems or the mana crystals. And it's like, what happens if you carry too much? She might just die. It's like, okay, are we going to kill a character or are we going to keep it clumsy?
Yeah.
I wonder what that line is.
I also got to say the best character showed up in these last 3 episodes. Fucking homeboy math school teacher girl.
Oh.
That magical girl that's actually just a math teacher dude that's like ripped.
Yeah.
He's just I just love how Jaya sees him. It's like, whatever, it's him again. Doesn't even fucking acknowledge him.
Mm-hmm. He's stepped his game up, didn't he? His wand is now a selfie stick.
Yeah. Well, it was before, but before it was like taped on. Now it's actually like, it's sad that we know this much about this fucking guy now at this point. He showed up so many times. Oh my God. Also, like, I was looking through my notes. I just remembered that Jaya literally spent so much of her magical powers just to impress this little girl. It's like, really? She had a whole fucking magical girl transformation. It's like, okay, settle down, Sailor Moon. What a fucking waste of her powers. Because she didn't even get to work that night. She had to fucking like skip that night. It's like, now you lost money because you just fucking wanted to show off. Like, did it really cost you that much energy to transform and lift up a rock compared to like lifting beers?
Well, I think it was transforming and then the like
spear
actual
yeah
magic being used. We did get a new OP, which was nice.
Dude, the new OP was actually, I don't know. I think I liked the other OP better than this OP. It's weird because they're kind of like two different kind of feeling OPs.
Mm-hmm.
Also, this OP was a little more lazy on the animation, but hey,
Yeah.
teach their own.
But
But they did hint
like
at that
both.
new character though.
Yeah.
That is the Demon Lord, which
Yeah.
is just another small person.
Very small girl.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's a similar thing with Jahy, where maybe other people don't realize that, like, if you just have so much mana and are so powerful that if it gets taken away, you have no choice but to, like, become small. And other people don't realize that.
Jahy just needs to find a way to tell Daruji, like, you know what? Give me those crystals. Like, Daruji would give up those crystals if she asked her in a heartbeat. She's like, yeah, we found, 30 small ones and 8 large ones. It's like, yo, Jahy's only seen, 1 large one this entire time.
2.
2?
Yeah, because the magic girl stole one, and then she had one on her at the time. And then the magic girl ended up stealing that one later, too.
I thought the one she was wearing was the one the magical girl stole.
I think she already had one with her.
Did she? Oh. It
Yeah,
was just funny. It's like, just tell
something like that.
Which is bullshit, because she said, up until this point, let's talk about what we have. And she lists a small amount, but she literally showed a picture with a fucking truck full of them.
Yeah.
Fucking dumb.
I don't know if that's real or it was like...
I don't know if that was part of the manga or if it was part of I don't know. You have to buy it and read it yourself.
Yeah.
With our sponsor today. No, I'm kidding. God, I wish we were sponsored by a manga company.
Overall, the show is fine. Her landlady is lazy as shit and kind of childish. Because she got into a fight with her sister and was like, yes, the reasonable thing to do is to barge into one of my tenants' apartments and say, I'm living here.
To be fair, Jahy was like, there's a fucking open one next door. Yo, free rent? It's like, well, hold up. You never said free rent.
Yeah. She also said that she'd clean up, and that bitch lied.
Yeah, that bitch totally fucking lied about cleaning shit up. To be fair, Jahy did physically assault her a couple episodes earlier.
Deserved it.
Should have seen what she was wearing.
It's fine. They cuddled in the middle of the pub.
It's like to be fair, I don't think they never spoke about it.
Huh?
Did they ever speak to each other about
Well, when they woke up, the fucking sister pub owner was literally like, look at all the pictures in the video.
I don't think those two verbally communicated to each other, landlord and Jaya, just like Komi never communicated with our boy.
Wow.
I was trying to do a transition, and then he started going off. I was like, oh, shit, he doesn't see the...
That was weak.
You're fucking weak. You know what's not weak? Komi's fucking writing game. Holy shit, she can write fast. I don't know if Japanese is a lot easier to write than English as far as speed.
No, not necessarily. Maybe if you really know.
Well, I mean, like, if you...
Because there's such thing as a stroke order as well. So if you're doing a complex like kanji, you're supposed to do it in a specific order of lines. And if there's 27 lines, you're like, I just got to be this one.
Well,
and
I
then
don't
this
know,
one,
like,
and then
if you're going like this verse. I don't know. I don't write kanji or hiragana. I don't know what the whole fucking thing is. All I know is
hiragana, katakana, and kanji.
Kanji. Justus, or anime master.
Well, I mean, that's just Japanese in general, but...
Listen, I'm dumb. Leave me alone. I'm not smart. Small brain.
We did only have one episode.
I'm happy that Netflix is going week by week with this because, okay, can we just talk about the fucking animation in this? There was literally a scene where they were talking with each other. Our boy, I forgot his name already. I wrote it down. Oh, shit.
I don't know.
Brown hair boy. No, but like he and Komi are talking in the classroom together without anybody else. And every single panel on the window is a scene from that episode thus far fully animated. And I'm like, guys, you can't fucking flex. You're not Kyoto Animation. And then I'm like, holy shit, they can flex hard. They can flex so fucking hard you wouldn't believe it. It's like, even the scene where he says, hi, Komi, and she says nothing. And it's literally a fucking JoJo scene with fucking gold lights coming from above. What was it? And it's just like fucking thick words. It was literally like out of fucking JoJo. Every like 10 seconds, they're fucking flexing their animation skills and how much like detail they put in the background.
I mean, they have spent 30 years making Pokemon. I think they can do some good stuff.
You guys want to try something new? Oh, for the love of God, let me draw something other than a Squirtle and a Pikachu.
Well, they also did Odd Taxi last season, so it's kind of interesting.
But it's animated so well. Like, even everything in the background is given so much detail. Like, even the floors and the walls and the windows are drawn out. And the people walking in the hallway, they don't even do the cheap thing of giving them, generic hair. Everyone has their own character design, and everyone is an individual in that classroom. Like My Hero. Like, everyone's an individual. Also, Ninja Dude's got some fucking problems.
Yeah. I mean, you got Boom Mic Guy, Ninja Dude, Leg Armor Girl.
Dude, yeah, she, like, they're just walking in the class. You see this girl in, like, fucking armor, and it's like, excuse me? The Boom guy just fucking threw me off, too, because he's just, like, out there, like, she's going to say something. Says nothing. God.
Yeah. It's
so good, and like it's like they went from slice of life, the comedy, to then serious, emotional, because at one point you think she's crying, and she's like, sorry, I just have hiccups. Well, she doesn't say, she's like, hiccups.
Which is kind
also
of funny.
Fuck you, Japan, you gotta read subtitles now. Who's the fucking winner now? Or you gotta read now.
I mean,
fuck you. You gotta read.
Downside, there's so many like subtitles that are built into the show that like they literally can't translate at all. Like, it's impossible.
Someone took that screenshot of that big thing and they translated most of it.
Yeah, but like that was someone that took a still and did it.
No, I mean, it's just cool. Hopefully someone keeps doing that. But Komi said one word so far. She's so good. I'm so
she
proud
said
of her.
Meow. I mean, she also said, like, why can't I talk to people? So
she said good. Look at her. She sings so many words. So many words.
I wonder if it's just a thing
she
where...
did cry at one point. It was adorable. I feel for her. She's going to get married to... When he's like, I'm going to find you 99 friends. And I was like, aw, the bitch ain't one.
All right. You're on something today.
Also, there were like 2 post credits.
Yeah,
that was fucking bullshit. Justin's like, make sure you watch the post credits. Watched it, and I was about to close it, and I'm like, He's like, so what do you think about this in the post credits? I'm like, what? I didn't see that. He's like, oh yeah, the second post credits.
That's the total post credits is like 4 minutes.
That's 4 minutes of my life I could be saving for sleep.
Cool, but you stayed up for 8.
Also, that bitch lucked out at reading in class. She lucked out so fucking hard. It's like, Komi, read for us. Says nothing, trembles. You're right. Reading aloud is pointless. Thank you, Komi. It's like, the bitch should have read. The world's finest assassin. Yo, you definitely saw him come out of a vagina. That I'm gonna start with that right away. You definitely, like Justus said, oh, and I was like, what? He's like, you definitely see something come out of something. Then I get there, I'm like, oh. He's like, vagina. I was like, yep. You don't actually see it, but you listen, man. There was no need for that scene. It was unnecessary. Also, no one's kissing their baby right afterwards. Also, you need to cut that umbilical cord. She just hands the baby over like it's clean. It's like babies are dirty when they come out. Ain't no one kissing any of that shit. Also, when you first hear the opening of the show, because they start episode 1 with the opening. Like, there's nothing before it. I didn't think it was that cool till after you watch the first episode. Then when you hear it again, it's like, I like this opening. It like they had to set the mood before it got good.
I like it. I think it's probably one of the better openings this season so far.
Restaurant to Another World was pretty good.
Yeah, well, I haven't heard that one, so
Maybe you should watch it.
I don't watch shit shows.
Fucking garlic man.
It's fine. I'll just cut back to the part where you call that show shit.
I didn't call the show shit.
Yeah, you did.
Nope, because I'm editing this.
Uh-huh.
Here's to me actually not editing that out.
Yeah.
No, dude, episode 1 was pretty fucking good right off the bat.
Yeah,
It started with action.
It was slightly confusing though, because they start fairly dark.
They're just assassinating people. They're just like, okay, boom.
Well, even beyond that,
Boom.
it starts with a woman crying, and it's like, oh, these are young teenage girls being sold.
Oh yeah, I forgot that's actually how episode 1 starts.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are people being sold. What did I write? I think I wrote, this girl doesn't want to look pretty. Why is she whoring herself out, bitch? And I was like, oh, wait, she was captured. My bad.
Jesus.
I was so quick to judge.
Wow, that's fucked.
Dude, she fucking, I don't remember her name because I don't think they said, girl number 7 is who her number is. She's being auctioned off at age 14. I'm like, holy shit, they can't do this to a 14-year-old. And then she fucking massacres she Squid Games everyone in that fucking room.
I think that was Dia.
I think it is. I think it's her older.
Yeah, I think that was because it's the same gun.
Yeah.
So we get introduced to her when she's younger.
It's like that scene out of Code Geass where she's just killing everyone in the goddamn stadium.
Euphemia. Just
fucking...
could you all die, please? What? Kill them all.
Remember, Justus? No Russian. I'm glad that they showed you some of the cool stuff to start, and then they explain it. Because I don't think they explain a lot of that shit till episode 3. The eyes and the gun and everything.
Mm-hmm.
That panty shot wasn't necessary. I'm going to say that now.
Which one? You see hers 3 times.
Every time when she pulls out the revolver, that was a fully unnecessary panty shot. You just could have done
The revolver could have been even a little lower.
Yeah, having a revolver that high, I mean, like, come on, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like, listen, he's an assassin. He could have told her where to put that fucking revolver. Would have been a better spot. I mean, to be fair, it's made by the guy from Redo of a Healer, so I mean, you're gonna get some of that stuff, but come on. It's totally different than Redo of a Healer, too. Like, the way he takes the approach of stuff is drastically different on there.
Which I think is good. Unfortunately, from what I've heard, there gets to be some, like, questionable stuff later on.
I heard that, like, it starts good, there's some questionable, and then it mellows out, and then it stays good. So we might get a Goblin Slayer moment. I don't know. Maybe that's the best way to describe it. That's how it was described to me. Also, I got beef. I got beef with the show.
Beef with everything.
I don't have beef with
just because your fat ass likes beef.
Yeah. Damn. I deserve that. Fucking put that on the highlight channel, please. God. That was mean. That was so mean. No, do you want to guess what my beef is? It's in episode 1. Guess what my beef is?
The woman.
You're already wrong. Okay, so my beef is the woman in this show. My beef is that fucking drone. That drone is following them in their car. And it's like, we're going to jump out. First of all, they jump out 2 separate directions, but somehow end up on the same side of the road without the Marines seeing them driving on the road. That's bullshit. Second of all, they're shooting 50 cals and they don't have night vision. It's the middle of the night. That's my other fucking beef. Like, guys, like, come on. Like,
I mean, if the moon.
You're playing up this. Shut the fuck up. They're playing up this whole thing of, like, world's best assassin. Like, you could have had a better plan than that fucking shit.
Yeah, unfortunately, if the world's best assassin is being written by someone who doesn't understand assassination, it doesn't matter.
Also, the organization went through way too much trouble just to kill him.
Yeah.
They fucking 9/11 a plane to kill him.
Yeah. That's
like the amount of work
ridiculous.
to kill this one dude. You just could have killed any other way.
Yeah. Even when he was like being reincarnated, he was like, man, I was so loyal. If they just would have told me to kill myself, I would have done
done
it. Yeah, it's like, wow. So you just killed a lot of people for nothing.
Also, what is up with him being naked every like 2 minutes? Every like 2 fucking minutes, he's naked. After he gets killed, naked.
I mean,
shown up there, naked. Reborn, naked. 2 minutes later, naked.
Oh yes,
Naked.
because the baby's born. Why is it wearing a suit?
Even got dressed for the job you want.
Also, him dying and then being sent to the world to meet the goddess. It makes sense because like your worldly body is like being sent through. Some of that stuff like makes sense. You get to the weird part where the dad, like after he's being reincarnated,
Pose naked for me, my 7-year-old child.
Yeah, and
fucking watching you show.
In their case, like sure, whatever. The dad is like
a pedophile.
No, and I mean he's a murderer.
And a pedophile.
No, not from what we've seen. It's literally just like, yo, we really want you to kill people, and we don't want you to die because our last kid died. So like muscle development.
I just thought of a funny meme for this.
Like apparently each pose like extenuates and like allows the best.
Is his mom also an assassin, or is she just cool with the whole thing?
I think she's just cool with the whole thing. She's hot, so she's just there.
There is one thing. I think the show did a really good job of isekaiing their characters. Because it's like, here's our little tea party. Here's all the knowledge of the world. Boom, you understand. Here's like, they did do a jump, so he just didn't stand there doing the 10-minute, like, let me look through a couple cards, then pick this. They did a good cut of, you have 5 cards you can pick. What was it? A, B, C, D?
Ranks, yeah.
Or no, there was S, A, B, C, D. And those are the ranks. So like S tier is like only like 1 in a million has this. A was like 1 in 100,000. So it was like a skill set where like, like only 1 in this many people have this certain skill. And like, there's a whole bunch of people that have this other skill.
In their case, it's all a randomized chance. His case,
he can pick.
Yeah. He gets to pick, and then he also got the benefit of the 6 like magic elements. He got to pick 4.
4, yep. And then a lot of people only get 1 or 2, but he got to pick 4 out of the 6 magic elements. Compared to, he was ordered to by this goddess that's supposed to not interfere with the world, but there's a lot of like, listen, she pulls some lawyer level shit of, well, technically, if I do this and that, you can interfere. Yeah. But the hero of the world, he's supposed to kill. In 18 years, the hero's going to kill the demon lord, and then he's got to kill him after the demon lord.
I think it's 16 years he kills the demon lord.
No, it's 18 because then there's another 18 years, and then the world goes to shit. It's 18. I know it is because I actually wrote it down. I made sure of that. Not denying you, but I knew this would be important. But he has like 18 years. And then he's supposed to kill the hero after he kills the demon lord. But they do bring up the point of, you don't have to kill him. You just have to make sure he doesn't turn the world into shit. But the hero, so our guy gets 5 traits and then 4 elements. But the hero gets 30 traits. So he has to be very picky about what he picks. I thought it'd be hilarious if the hero of the world actually has like 30 of the worst fucking traits. They're just all like A tier traits. Or all D tier traits.
Yeah.
Okay. So he can pick 5 traits out of 123,851. That's the total number of traits in this world. Yeah, he has 18 years to be reborn and kill the hero for the job. And he has another 18 years before. 18 years after that before the world is completely destroyed.
No. See, I looked it up. You wrote it down wrong.
That's what they said.
Literally, once he's born, he has until 18. So there's only 18 years.
Yeah.
To kill the hero because when the world ends.
No. At 18 years, that's when he's supposed to kill him by. because there's another 18 years and the world goes to shit. So in 16 years, he defeats the Demon Lord. He has 2 years basically after that, before he's 18. So he has 18 years to kill him. And then she said 18 years after that 18 years, the world goes to complete shit and gets destroyed.
But then why would he only be given 18 years to kill someone if there's another 18 years before things go bad?
That's what I'm saying. But no, the world is destroyed by 18 years after that. Because at the year 18 is when he betrays the world and he starts going evil. So, I'm not the goddess. I didn't write this shit. Also, again, he's just naked again. How do you pronounce his name? Wow.
Law.
Law. La da da. Law is his name. Also, at first I was like, oh, he lives in a big house. Then in the third episode, they're like, yo, here's our house. And it's a fucking fortress mansion. Basically is what he lives in. And one of the interesting scenes where they really play it up, because they give you information, but they don't give you enough information. When he gets these 4 elements, we didn't know that was a lot until he meets the girl. I think I forgot to write her name down. Dia, yeah. And she's like, okay, let's test for traits. And she's like, oh, you have earth. That's what I'm good with. Or no, she says, you have water. That's a good trait. Let's test for another just in case. Oh, you have what'd she say? Light or something? And what really changed it was he says, oh, let's test for one more. And she's like, well, I've never seen anyone with 3. Then she finds out, oh shit, he can do earth. And then the last one was fire or whatever.
So the first one was fire, water, earth, and then darkness.
Yeah. So then that's when she finds out you're super skilled. And the thing I like about the show is we cut to the chase for the skills, and then we just cut to, boom, he's born and now he's 7 and he's been training his, basic whole life. I don't want this bullshit of, I like jobless reincarnation, don't get me wrong, but they took 8 episodes to kind of cut to the chase of where we need to be. And, God, we also find out that some of his traits allow him to change up how magic is used, because this show is weird with magic. So he finds out there are chemical equations, because he also points out the atomic weight. Is it the atomic weight is what he says? Which I don't think anyone at that time would have had the tech for that.
Yeah.
But he knows if you take this, this, and this, it's just, protons, neutrons, atomic weight. So it's basically chemistry, and he's just making a new.
Yeah. I think it was atomic weight, the melting point, and the hardness of something.
Yeah, so he's basically just using chemistry, which he's good at because of explosives. And then that's how he uses to make new spells and develop new things. But some people don't have that trait like she does. Mm-hmm. And they do cover up why. He's like, oh, why is no one ever just thought of this? Because to her, when you think of these new spells, it comes to you from God. It's a gift, and then you can use it. So you're unlocking it as you use it more. But he can just write an equation, use it, and then teach it to her. I was a little confused there.
Yeah, because he has the spell weaver trait. So whatever he creates, it can be used. But I think she may have a similar trait.
Yeah, I think she just had to unlock it. It was weird because eventually she was able to do the same thing.
Yeah, because she can't. If she writes a spell, she can't cast it. But if she writes a spell, he writes it, and then he gives it to her, then she can use it.
So I wonder if that's going to play into, he eventually just keeps sending her stuff. You also found out he has a shitload of mana. Because he even talked about, he's a fucking gamer. He's a speedrunner. He's like, I'll use this, 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 and this. Build up my mana resources. And they point out right away, he's only 7. Oh, he's got all these powers. Which kind of makes sense because he purposely picked it. It's not like he's reborn and he's strong like Rudy from Jobless Reincarnation. Mm-hmm. So, I really like the show. I think it's one of the better shows of the season so far. I think it stacks up real well. The story's done real well. He's also given the magic eyes.
Yeah, those are cool.
Then he murders a bitch.
Yeah. She's crazy.
Yeah.
That was one of those, please don't. And then he, cuts off her hand, and it's oh, it's to dull the pain. And it's oh, yeah, he's still, totally an assassin, so that like
Yeah.
that mode's kicked in. And then she goes like, "You tricked me," and like, I'll fucking kill you, basically. And it's like, he totally deserves to die. Also, the dad was like listing off stuff. It's like, there's no excuses for any of those.
Yeah.
It was an accident. They just got home. She burned the house to the ground to buy the evidence. I was just scared. There's also 72 other crimes. It's like, okay, come on.
One comment that I saw someone make under the episode was like, holy shit, he's making CSGO knives? Just fucking creates a knife. He's like, it goes super sharp. Flip it around. Oh, man. You know what's weird about the show, though, before we move on? There's no vampires in it. Whenever watching a show with vampires.
You're so lame. Oh, such a lame transition. Oh, my God.
Fuck you.
My soul cringes.
Is that the name of this podcast? That's cringe.
Yeah. Just like always.
Wow. So that
The
beefinator.
back on beef. Can't get it out of your mind.
Why is she so adorable is the better question. Why is
Irina, the
N44
space cosmonaut.
Irina's so fucking adorable.
Or,
I'm happy they did talk about how that dog that went in space, a lot of people don't know, that dog fucking cooked to death.
yeah.
This is way further in like episode 2. But they pulled like, there's 2 nations. There's there's 2 countries. There's a Reincarnated Union. They're basically called the UZSR. I just refer to them as the USSR because that's basically what they are. And then United Kingdom of Arnak are the 2 kingdoms. It's basically the Cold War, the anime, but they're racing to see who can get the first person in space.
Zernitra. Yeah.
But basically there's these 2 countries, USSR, United Kingdoms, America. And they're racing to see who can get the first person in space. It's basically Cold War, the anime, like I said. And like the whole plot of this is we're going to use this vampire, Irina, as the test subject because if she dies, it doesn't matter. We don't claim her as our own cosmonaut, so it's not a failure for the country. But if it succeeds, then we can claim her either way. So it's not a negative, it's not a pro. Because they only have, 20 cosmonauts to work with?
Yeah.
So they just can't be throwing them out there and hoping that they live.
I mean, you could. A couple of them
what the
seem like
USSR did.
assholes.
That's true. Some of them are xenophobic. Racism is bad, kids. Unless it's against elves. Fuck elves.
Mm-hmm.
Don't fuck elves. That's dangerous.
I do think like the interesting thing is so our main character Lev, he's a cosmonaut that got put into the reserve section because he basically punched like an official.
He beat up an officer.
Yeah, which makes sense. They all seem like cunts.
Yeah. Well, they're supposed to be playing the Soviet Union.
Yeah. Soviet Union's a bunch of cunts.
Yeah. Bring it, Soviet Union. Guess who's standing?
Yeah.
USA.
Do you have something on your forehead, by the way?
Do I?
Yeah. Move your hair up. I don't know. It kind of looked like it. Weird.
Now I'm a little self-conscious about myself.
Yeah. I mean,
dude,
should
Irina
be anyway.
is so adorable. Also, she's old as fuck. Not to hate on her.
I mean, did they say how old she was?
Well, they were like, when she was 10, she went through the ritual of drinking blood, and she's a vampire, and that looked old. That looked old, like castle type old.
I mean,
but I don't think
they still live in that castle, though, and they didn't really, like, they said that even in her case when she was 10, that they only do that once when she's 10 to keep up with the tradition, but anything beyond that, which sounds very modern.
I think they're going with she's still a vampire and it's old. It just, the setting looked old. I still find it funny that she sleeps in a coffin. It's like perfect. But it's unnecessary. She can wear shorts. She doesn't have to be in panties all the time. You don't have to sexualize her. She's a good girl.
Yeah.
But I think the way they treat her seems very true if that was a real person.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they use and abuse her. It seems like she does have some sort of superhuman abilities, but it's still limited. It's not like, she doesn't take damage or she turns into a bat. Because they even point that out in episode 1, like, oh, she's looking at the moon, and Lev thinks she's looking at the cross and is, like, petrified, so he tries to protect her, and then she calls him a fucking pervert. Which he is. We all know he is. Peeping Tom. And you go through episode 1 just kind of learning about her, and then episode 2 is where you get into the actual testing of her and if she can be a cosmonaut, because they're trying to catch her up as fast as she can. And that's where you see a lot of that xenophobia or racism kick in. I guess you can't really call it racism. I think it would be xenophobia.
Yeah.
Because she's a vampire, like, a lot of the scientists are like, okay, like, one in particular, when they're testing her, it's like, now let's use fucking holy water. I'm going to wear garlic around my neck and have, like, a cross because I don't want her attacking me. And the scientist literally at one point makes her wear handcuffs, a choker collar, and a muzzle. And I'm like, oh, she looks so helpless.
Yeah, it's pretty fucked.
Even though she's proved that she's not going to attack anybody.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to know where this is going to go. Is it going to be like a runaway story where, like, he takes her and runs away? Or because you see towards the end of episode 2 that she's afraid of heights, and this is definitely not a mission for her because she's definitely having the fear of, I am just going to die on this mission.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that's a fair, like...
That's a fair thing. It's the first people in space. Because even when you look at our boy, like, this was a selection of 3,000 special recruits. So 3,000 people in the army that qualified, and then they took it down to 20, and they're just throwing her in at random. Even though she does have some more superhuman abilities, they're just throwing her into this as well.
Mm-hmm. I did think it was super interesting. There's a couple things that they did to subvert your expectation. Like, you had mentioned it a little bit where she's very tame. She's not gonna, like, she doesn't drink blood. She can't taste.
No, she can taste. She just tells people she can't. Because remember when she had that lemon seltzer, she actually tasted. She's like, oh, this is so tasty.
Oh, so
it's when she was eating the toothpaste, she was pretending like she couldn't to act tough. And then when she drinks that seltzer, she's like, oh, it's so good. And Lev's like, you like it, don't you? She's like, baka. Not going to let it go to waste. She's a fucking tsundere.
Yeah.
Ooh, Matt knows Japanese.
Oh, wow.
The one word.
Cool.
Let me have this one, Justin.
No.
Let me have this one.
No, I won't. It's like the most basic, like, word ever.
Baka.
Yeah. You can't even say anything more than 4 letters. Loser.
Tsundere.
That's just a character trope, though.
Amaro. Nani?
Yo, all right. But, like, she doesn't drink blood, human or even, like, she likes basically just drinks milk, which is kind of funny.
Got milk.
They don't burn in the sunlight. They just suffer from heat stroke very easily. It's stuff like that where it's like, oh, that's...
She was in a hot chamber the whole time. She was a fucking trooper.
Yeah. So
they're basically just
thought some of that.
They're basically just superhumans with a few downsides to heat,
mm-hmm.
which that is going to foreshadow because I'm guaranteed those capsules are going to get hot as fuck and she's just going to die. I feel like she's either going to die in that capsule or they're going to run away to the United Kingdom of Arzini or something.
Arsenic.
I hope she stays safe. If anything happens to her, I swear to God. Swear to God.
She gonna die. Apparently, it's still ongoing.
You say that shit, and then it always fucking happens. People die. We're going to eat your pancreas.
Well, I mean, look, the first 10 seconds tell you that bitch was dead.
She could have lived.
No.
She was getting better. She just needed a new pancreas.
It literally opened up with her, like, funeral. What are you talking about?
It could have been someone else.
Whatever. Yeah, I think that's about it.
That is it.
Yeah.
What's next week? Do you have next week's list up?
Yeah.
Next week we're watching JoJo's Bizarre Adventure every single episode.
No.
We're watching all of One Piece to catch up.
No.
There is some anime news. Mob Psycho season 3 was announced, and then Love Is War season 3 was also announced.
Yeah, Kaguya-sama season 3. They announced.
You Kaguya-sama.
Well, I mean, it's announcing it properly. You fuck. They announced a Vinland Saga movie.
I don't think they gave a date though, did they? It was just next year.
Yeah, sometime next year. Kaguya-sama is supposed to come out in April.
And maybe by next podcast we'll probably watch My Hero. I don't know if we're gonna record on Saturday or Thursday. Probably Saturday, just so we can talk about My Hero, which the My Hero movie's coming out. And then there was one other piece of news. Let me pull it up on there. We did lose a voice actor.
Mm.
We lost Lord Frieza.
Yeah.
The English voice actor, Christopher Ayers.
Yeah, he was the second voice actor for Frieza.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you forgot the most important thing, Justice. Wait, was that? Oh, that was last week, I think. The Zombieland Saga movie was officially announced.
They only just announced it like a day ago.
October 17th. And then in January, there is a special 1-episode stream of Dragon Maid S as a trailer for like a New Year's thing. Dragon Maid S has kind of been a passive thing. And then Blue Giant, a very popular manga, is set to receive an anime film. There wasn't an exact date, but it should be late next year.
Yeah. Nagatoro, Don't Toy With Me, Miss Nagatoro season 2 was announced.
Which is adorable. I love that show.
And then Science Fell in Love, so I tried to prove it.
What's it, season 2?
Season 2 was announced as well. Lots of announcements, and everyone's over here like, we'll never get another season of No Game, No Life.
Well, they did that rerun and they didn't say anything, did they? Or that's still going, I think.
I think it's still going.
Because it's 24 episodes on there.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, I'm trying to pull up the list of podcast fall. Watch list, fall 2021. So next week is My Senpai is Annoying. That's what I'm doing. Blue Period. Deep Insanity, The Lost Child. Platinum N, and Sakugan. Supposedly Platinum N, Sakugan, and My Senpai is Annoying is like some of the most hyped shows this season. Mainly because My Senpai is Annoying is like slice of life, and then Platinum N is just done very, very well. And Sakugan apparently has one of the best fight scenes people are saying this year so far. So, I mean, that's something to look forward to, considering, I mean, My Hero had a really good fight. Or what was that other big fight of this year? That we, why can't I think of what it is?
Jujutsu Kaisen had a massive fight.
Yeah, that is it. I always forget that Jujutsu Kaisen was this year. So, it'll be hard to pick. Luckily, we watched so many shows this year. I think for the Crunchy Awards, we'll be pretty prepared to like vote on whatever.
Yeah. Blue Period is another Netflix one, so there may not be a lot of episodes.
2. I think they're on episode 2 right now.
Okay.
So we might be able to get episode 3 or not.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we'll tell you when we're back.
Yeah. And then I don't think I've seen a whole lot about Sakugan. But
it's like a mech fighting show. A lot of people are comparing it to like Tengen Toppa, Gurren Lagann. I haven't seen anything yet.
Okay.
So I guess we'll see what it is. But as always, if you liked, make sure you comment below. Helps with the algorithm. Or like. So if any of you are watching on, what are we on?
Basically everything.
So if you're on
YouTube,
if you're on any of those other platforms that aren't YouTube, stop by YouTube, cross ExAnime, and then look us up. We'll have a little like sway logo. It's the same logo you'll see us on every site.
I mean, the YouTube name is the exact same as any, our name on Spotify and all that. And then if you search the title names, like they're exactly the same.
Yeah. So make sure you come to YouTube, hit like, hit comment, hit subscribe, and then make sure you check me out.
You hit comment?
What? Yeah, you hit the comment button and you type your comment. Get fucking wrecked, Justus.
Wow. Don't hit, please.
Type beef.
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 I like beef.
Yeah, type that. Type I like beef if you stayed to the end.
Yeah. I mean, if you are on
We'll shout you out next podcast.
Spotify, Overcast, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts,
USSR podcast.
I think we're on Podbean. Something
Yeah,
like
I think
that.
we are.
Radio Pod.
We have a website that uploads everything.
Just follow.
For us.
Just give us like a follow. If there are ratings, go ahead and do that too. So that way we can get an idea.
5 out of 5 stars.
Thank you for watching, and thank you for listening.
You're welcome for making all this content for you free of charge.
Wow.